Good afternoon, everybody. Ian here with RedlineStands.com. The purpose of today's video is to show you how to rebuild one of these single-acting hydraulic cylinders with a replacement seal kit. At Redline, we sell a ton of single-acting hydraulic cylinders every year, probably literally by the thousands every year. You find them in two-post car lifts, some hydraulic shop presses. Pretty much every motorcycle lifting table that we sell has a single-acting hydraulic cylinder. Now, you let these things get old enough, they will eventually develop a leak. And rather than run off and buy an entire new cylinder, the purpose of this video is to show you how to save a little bit of money and do it yourself. The first thing is we've got to be able to identify if the cylinder is single or double acting. It's really easy. If there's only a place for one hydraulic line to come down into it, into the base of the cylinder, then it's single acting. If it's double acting, you're going to have a line coming in here and another one coming in here. And what you would learn in this video is going to apply to some degree to double acting cylinders, but this video is geared specifically to single acting cylinders. Now, before you order a seal kit, there's one thing that I want you to do. Take your hydraulic cylinder here, fully extend the rod out of what we call the barrel here. This is the rod, this is the barrel. Fully extend it out and inspect it carefully. This shiny section right here, you want to look it over really, really well to make sure you don't see any blemishes in this. If you can feel it with your fingernail as you run over it whatsoever, then the hydraulic cylinder is ruined. You're just going to waste your money ordering a seal kit, and you need to go ahead and buy an entire replacement cylinder. Okay, first things first, we're going to take our cylinder and clamp it into this bench vise here. I'm not going to clamp onto it real tight because the last thing that I want to do is start compressing the barrel right here. I'm going to put just enough pressure on it to where I can do what I need to do. If you've got yourself a set of like pipe vise jaws that will go into your vise, that helps a lot. And then basically all you're going to do is just spin this end cap right off of here. What I like to do is take this old tool right here, slide it into here, and then just start rotating on it until it gets loose. This one is already pretty loose because I've already taken it apart earlier. I'm just showing you now what to do. But anyways, you spin that thing off of there. It's probably going to take more force for you because yours is going to be tight. But that's all we're doing here is pulling the cap right off the end. Now that we've got our cap off, we're just going to push the rod right out of the casing. Now that we've got our rod outside of the barrel, or the casing as some people call it, I want to take this opportunity to point out that I've laid down a piece of packaging foam. I like to do that because it does away with the possibility that I'm accidentally going to put a bad scratch in this thing up against this hard steel tabletop here, and just adds an extra layer of protection that I don't run off and ruin my hydraulic cylinder while I'm trying to repair it. At this point, before I go any further, one of the things I like to do is make sure that I have the ability to put this cylinder back exactly the way that it was before. Now, this collar that you see right here, all it does is keep the cylinder from overextending. Just in case, I like to go ahead and put a little mark on that collar so I know which side is which. That way, when I get this thing off at a later time, I know whether this end was facing that way or that way. In the event that it was maybe machined a few thousandths different from one end to the other, I now know exactly which end it faces towards. Not just that, I'm also going to use this opportunity to shoot a photo or two of the piston end, the business end, so that I know exactly how everything goes back. That way I don't later have to wonder, does the seal go like that or does the seal go like that? I have seen single-acting hydraulic cylinders where the piston end of the cylinder right here has a bolt that goes in and holds everything on. Sometimes you're going to have that you're going to have to pull off the end. In this case, I don't have that. Now it's time to use a little flathead screwdriver and just kind of work it underneath this blue seal here. Get underneath there. Get it to where you can kind of pry it up a little bit, create a little bit of space. Sometimes I like to use another screwdriver to come in here from the back side and kind of push it a little bit and just work it over the end of it, slide it around. And this is our opportunity to kind of clean up this surface in here. Just wipe it off real good, kind of spin the thing in your hand there to make sure that you get any debris out from this little channel. At this point, I'm just going to apply a little bit of motor oil to the inside of both my seal and of course of the piston rod there. Get everything lubed up real well. And I really want to try and slide this thing on all at once versus kind of putting it on one side and then stretching it over it. The best thing to do is to kind of put it on like a piston ring where it just goes over, expands, and then slides over it. That's what we're going for if you're able to do that. Let's see if I can do it. I kind of struggled a little bit with it there, but I got it on. I'm happy with that. Earlier, when we inspected the finish on the rod right here, you could really only see it from about here down to about here because this section of it right here was still inside the barrel. This is your last opportunity to go ahead and check everything over to see if you see any bad scratches to this thing. If you find anything, then there's no point in continuing. Alright, so at this point we've replaced the seals on the piston. We're pretty much done with this thing now. I'm just going to wipe it clean, set it aside, and we can now have a look at the seals on the cap. To get the seals out of the cap, I find that a set of dental picks is handier than anything to kind of reach up underneath them and pull them off of there. Next, I'm going to pull this little plastic ring right here off. It kind of separates right there, as you can see, so you just expand it to get it off of there. And again, since I can see some trash down in there, I don't know if you can see that, but I can. I'm just going to kind of take my rag, dig it down in there, spin it, and clean those crevices. Look at what came off of there. Do the same thing to the other side. You want to clean down in there, get everything nice and clean. Again, I'll go ahead and add a little bit of oil to the cap right there. I'll take this little plastic part. If you don't have one of these that's new, it's no big deal. It's not responsible for actually doing any of the sealing anyways. And then again, I'll put a little bit of oil on my my O-ring here so that it slides on nice and easy and you know, doesn't get hung up on anything. Just kind of slide it on there like that. I'll go ahead and oil the other one as well. Get it lubed up. And see here if I can roll it on over there. Everything is really slippery. There we go. And that's all there is to it. Last on the chopping block is this seal that you see here in the end of the barrel. I'll use my dental pick to pull that out. I'll take my rag and just kind of wipe around in there to get anything out that might be in there. Put a little bit of lube. A little bit of motor oil is what I'm using here, by the way. And then put that right up inside there. Kind of slide it in and get it to fall inside that lip. Nothing to it. Before you put the rod back inside the barrel, be sure to check in there, make sure that it's clean, make sure of course you don't see any nasty scratches inside there. If you do, it's ruined, but it's definitely got to be clean. Alright, it's time to put the rod back inside the barrel. I'm again going to take my rag, just kind of wipe out the threads in here, make sure that they're clean. I'll take a little bit of motor oil and I'll put it on the piston here. Make sure that this thing is lubed up really good so it slides in, doesn't cut my new seal. I'm going to put some down here on the end as well. Run my finger around there. I'm even going to go as far as to put a little bit here on the end of the piston rod. Make sure that that thing slides into place and nothing gets destroyed in the process. There we go. And since I don't have quite enough room in there to thread the cap up in there just yet, I'm going to take a punch and just move the rod a little further into the cylinder. Alright, I was just about to reinstall my cap here on the back of the barrel, and rather than go back and reshoot a mistake, I'm curious, did you catch the mistake that I made? It was really, really easy. The mistake was, don't forget to slide that collar back over the rod before you run off and reassemble this thing. Last thing you want to do is get this thing completely put together, put it on the machine, hook up the hydraulic lines, extend it, damage the cylinder, and then realize, I forgot this little booger. So I got to pull the rod back out and slide it in place. Again, I'm lining up my X right where it's supposed to go, where I previously marked it. Now that it's time to go ahead and reinstall my end cap on the cylinder, I want to tell you that before I shot this video, I talked to a hydraulic cylinder repairman who had done it for about 40 years. He recommended putting number 242 thread locker on these threads to both keep this thing from vibrating loose as well as to keep it from leaking. I don't have any of that here with me today, so I'm going to go ahead and put it together without it. Now that I've already replaced my seals here on the cap, I'm just going to go ahead and thread this into the cylinder and then lock it down. Finally, I'll make sure that it's good and tight. Well, there you go, guys. I have showed you how to rebuild a single acting hydraulic cylinder using basic hand tools in about 20 minutes. Anybody can do this job. You don't have to be a technician to rebuild a cylinder. They're just so basic. I did it using a set of dental picks, which you frankly don't even have to have. A small screwdriver will get the job done as well. I'm going to put a link down below in the description where you can check us out on redlinestands.com. There we sell all kinds of automotive shop equipment that uses single-acting hydraulic cylinders. You know, I really make these videos with kind of two purposes. Number one, to help out our existing customer so he can make a repair, get it done himself, save some money. And number two, hopefully that people find these videos, find them useful, and then go to our website and maybe make a purchase. So by all means, as a favor to me, please click the link down below and check us out at redlinestands.com. Last but not least, I would ask if you don't mind, click the subscribe button down below. I post technical videos like this pretty commonly, as well as cool videos of stuff like my 67 Nova build to YouTube. So I would ask new subscribers, if you don't mind, click that subscribe button. I appreciate that when folks subscribe to my channel. Also, if you don't mind, click the thumbs up down below. Let YouTube know this is good content. I hope this video was helpful to everybody. I would encourage you to put your questions down below in the comments. It's very common that I answer questions directly in the comments below. I'm happy to have questions and happy to answer them. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Hope you found it helpful. Y'all take care.